of Comicbook Nation, the only show that does it all for geek culture and the official podcast of Comicbook.com. I am your host, Kofi Outlaw, and with me today, the full team is back. I got Matthew Aguilar, Janelle Wheeler, and Mr. Evan Valentine all in the house. What's up, people?
Hi.
That's you guys. Yeah, that's you. That's you guys. All right.
It's been one for sure.
It's been 1 week since we talked with you. Now we got a report that we're all screwed. Let's see here. You don't think I can rap? You were very wrong. So yeah, we got a lot to do today. We had a show. Then I went to go see a movie last night that we got to talk about today. But things were happening when I was sitting in the theater. Things happened. And so now I have to do a whole other show. And this is why I don't plan shows too far in advance, because I tried to be today and get things planned early. And now here we are. So, right, we're going to talk about Scream 7 today. We're going to be talking about Resident Evil Requiem, which is out if you can find it. We're going to be talking about Sony's big decision, some big things that happened on TV, and some crazy comics. So we also, Matt has a whole agenda. He's got to get off. He's been out of here for a week, so he's sitting over there stewing to get off some stuff. So we're going to let him talk about his experiences and the movie he saw, things, all the things. But first, we got to talk about how we are screwed. It's over, folks. Party's over. Party's over. This has been nice talking to you. I don't know how long I'll be able to talk to you about anything.
Sorry.
We're no longer owned by them.
Yeah, I don't know if you'll be able to still say things. Like, will I be able to say things against a Paramount or a movie, or like, will then all of a sudden I get a cease and desist letter or something like that, right? Like, this is getting crazy. Yeah, so they're gonna have AI bots monitoring all of us and what we record. So it's gonna be nuts. But yeah, it looks like for reasons of money, Netflix has given up its bid to acquire Warner Brothers, and it looks like it's a cleared path for Paramount and Skydance to acquire Warner Brothers.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Break this down for people who don't really understand what this means.
So Paramount's a movie studio. Warner Brothers is a movie studio. And one is acquiring the other. But okay, so here's what happened. So Netflix, they've been getting into this bidding war. Paramount was merged with Skydance in the last big Paramount merger, of which we know some things about. And Skydance had David Ellison of the Ellison family, ultra wealthy, powerful Ellison family, has been moving political mountains, cozying up to a certain administration to get this media mogul deal done and to basically run media, essentially. And what this does is Paramount and Warner Brothers used to be at one point two of the biggest competing, in the theater, in the old kind of theater system of Hollywood, like they are a studio system of Hollywood, like where studios really owned, like really, the studio kind of monopoly power of Hollywood, like Paramount and Warner Brothers. You're talking about two of the biggest libraries of classic to modern, cinema and television, that there are. And this acquisition essentially gives Paramount control of so much of the media space and so much content and so many IPs and so many like classic just volumes and film libraries. Warner Brothers vault is insane. And so they control now so much of that market share that it's Paramount has just jumped from thing we all thought might be dying to thing that might now be the juggernaut over us all. Like this
it's
is
still
like
dying. It's still dying.
Yeah. But
it's still...
now it's taking down a much bigger ship when it goes down. Like it's not just Paramount. It's not great. It's not great. I was very much, if this thing had to happen, and I didn't even want it to happen, but if it had to happen, like I wanted it to land with Netflix. I felt slightly safer there. I know people are saying movie theaters are saved, this, that, and the other. I don't think you know what's happened at Paramount. We know, for full disclosure, this podcast.
We know.
This podcast was started just before we hit a Paramount regime and had to survive a Paramount regime and has survived a Paramount regime and a sell. Like we were working under Paramount for about a good 6 years there. So before we were just unceremoniously dumped off on my birthday a couple of years ago. And so, but thank God for our new owners. Shout out to Savage and this podcast surviving. But yeah, man, it's crazy over there. So there has been like this whole kind of internal power fight because Paramount used to be run by some very different CBS, by some very different people. And now the Ellisons have it. And yeah, it's an interesting time because I don't know if you've been paying attention what's happened to things like CBS, which is a Paramount entity, or Comedy Central, which is a Paramount entity. But yeah, things aren't as free in the old speechy as they used to be. We're having entire things censored, entire interviews being cut because of political affiliations, things re-edited to favor certain parties, lawsuits if you say something that isn't edited out or edited against certain parties. Like this is becoming state media, and now this will own most of the media space. So we're not political nation here. We're not going to get
it's a heavy topic, man.
It is.
Let's just keep it to this as entertainment. Do you guys feel good about this? Does anybody feel good about this?
I gotta say, like on top of I was pulling for Netflix, right? Because that's what I thought. But to the conversation in the comments, and also just a broader conversation, for me, one of the biggest not perks but upsides to Netflix's deal was that the job redundancy was going to be limited because they were going to essentially be sort of these separate entities that would cross over at times, but like essentially they were buying Warner Brothers to be a studio, which meant they weren't duplicating their own departments with Warner Brothers, and it was going to be much easier on the layoffs. Paramount has been a layoff machine, as we all know, has been a layoff machine for 2 years now. There have been multiple waves. And guess there's going to be more. Unfortunately, this deal almost necessitates that at some point there's going to be several waves of layoffs because they now have duplicate you were doing the same thing. Your studios were doing the same thing. So now you have two marketing departments.
Names I know.
Yeah,
I can tell you two heads of PR that I've been friends with for years. One's at Paramount, one's at Warner Brothers. Like,
right.
Do both those ladies have a job? Like, I don't know. Like,
and I hope so. I absolutely hope so. Like, I hope they find a way to navigate that. And I know obviously sometimes they can move people and things, but like Paramount's so big anyway. And now Warner Brothers is already so big. And by the way, Warner Brothers had their own layoffs before.
Yeah.
Like, so both of these places come in at a very not as strong.
Put this in terms our audience can understand. This is an incursion. There you go. This is an incursion.
There you go.
It's an ultimate incursion.
Yeah, this is an incursion of two parallel realities now.
Yeah, and I echo Brywood's sentiments too. Of like, I don't actually think either of these deals has an immediate impact on the movie industry either way. I mean, the Paramount. Have you seen Paramount's?
No, there has to be. What's going to happen is all the film school kids who open film institutes in their old theaters in their towns, of which I knew some, or open things like Alamo. You guys all got to click up and film, like, and just make one board that's separate from the industry. That's about just the theater experience itself, and just like you guys, like basically, you guys got to make movie theaters like this retro kind of experience thing.
Yes,
I went like more of in Nashville, like the Bell Courts and things like that. Like you got to make those back because the actual. We all went wrong with the Cineplexes in the 20s and the bigger cost and the bigger foods and the bigger, like everything. We got to get back to just like, yeah, your local nerds open this old theater space and renovate it and make it and show some pictures and, do that. And those were the good days, man.
It's a destination, right? You make it a experience that you can't get on your TV.
Right.
Because I can watch. I mean, I was in Best Buy the other day. Speaking of struggling things, I was in Best Buy the other day and looked at this like 100-inch TV. I was like, that's absurd, right? But like, you can have a movie theater in your house.
And I wanted to put a pin in something that we keep seeing in the comments. No, Netflix actually wasn't killing the theater experience. You guys are very wrong just because it was a streamer. Netflix opened last year 2 Netflix houses, which are, there's one in King of Prussia Mall where I grew up, and another one I think in like Vegas or somewhere. And what they are is what they were trying to tinker with was changing the theatrical experience into essentially making it kind of like Dave and Buster's, essentially, where the movie part is only the beginning. So you and your family you go and you see a movie, but you're in this big house that also has like a high class restaurant or has some kind of interactive kind of gaming spaces or interactive experience spaces, sometimes tied to the movie. So you go see like a Harry Potter movie, then they have a whole Harry Potter interactive kind of space, walkthrough space set up and pop up you can do with your family afterwards. And things like that. Go eat some Harry Potter theme food. You know what I mean? It was like a whole place. A theater is a whole now house of different experiences that you do. And it's a whole like evening out, almost like a mini kind of Disney or mini theme park, essentially, that would be able to be morphed and changed to the themes of a movie. So marketing for movies would change the kind of thinking of it, but it would be kind of this 360 experience. So not just the movie would just be one component of this larger experience they were trying it out. Now, I'm not saying I would have gone for that or they would have nailed it, but that was what they were tinkering with, just to put all the facts on the table. Like, that's what they wanted to do. And of course, make it all Netflix themed, which also ultimately let you to be a Netflix subscriber, being this larger kind of experience, right? Like what it means to be a Netflix subscriber. Anyway, so that's what they were planning. I don't know what these yahoos are planning, except we're going to get less films in a year.
At least we'll see. At least
to make sure, I've shaken David. Full disclosure, I've shaken David Ellison's hand, sat down and talked to him. I'm looking for the tapes now on the set of his big passion project, Terminator Genesis.
Oh God! Oh no!
Okay, so
that's his passion. Oh, I didn't realize that. That's horrible.
Yeah, so that's where I crossed paths with actually Mr. David Ellison, who was a fine in-person. Went from my experience meeting a fine human being. We actually had a good conversation. I actually thought, hey, you and your sister, between him and his sister, Megan Ellison, who does Anna Perina and does all those indie things and has been mega successful at that. Like, I was like, I think you kids might actually get this in the bag. Then I saw Terminator Genesis, and then I was like,
man, I thought you were gonna. I would have given it so much more credit if you had said it was Dark Fate. Oh my God, Genesis?
No, it was Genesis. It was me, Ellison, Arnie, Amelia Clark.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was an interesting day because they wouldn't tell us anything about the movie. So we had to go for a set
I
visit.
wonder
Yeah. Jason Clark, they only allowed us to talk to Jason Clark outside the tent for like about 8 minutes, and he couldn't say anything because of his role as John Connor and like what happens.
So why even invite you at that point? You know what I mean?
I don't know, man.
It's like
that's
so dumb. This is the
that's a whole
money.
separate conversation. But here's the kicker, and this is just an anecdotal podcast story. So me and Peter Shretta from Slash Film. So we get to the end of the day, and everybody's just hanging out. They're getting served, like little refreshments, donuts, coffee, because it's been like a kind of cold day. We were in, I think, New Orleans, and we go, and Peter goes, "Come here." He goes, "Come here," and he goes, and we go over to the prop truck where all the prop jockeys, like the crew members, are just in. So Peter just goes, and shout out to Peter because this was my teaching moment on how to do this. Goes in, he's just perusing the truck. He's just looking at things. He's looking at props. He goes over to all these Terminator parts, cybernetic parts. He's like, "Tell me about all these." Holy God, these prop jockeys couldn't be more happy to just go off. They told us everything. They were like, "Oh man, this is the thing we put on Jason Clark so he can be Skynet. And then this happens and that happens and this, that, and the other. And then when Arnie does this and they do the fake out and they do this. So then we have this." And we were just like, And like we hopped out of the truck, and the PR person for that visit, shout out to Tamara, who was like one of the best. She just saw us. She was like, "Come here." She was like, "You too." She was like, you heard nothing. You report. I don't even want to see a rumor on one of your sites. Oh, rumor people fans. No, I don't want to see a thing. Shut your mouths. And I was like, we were like, okay, like, all right, we won't. But like, yeah, we had the whole movie. That's when I was like, huh. Oh, is this either going to be really good or yeah, how it turned out. Yeah. So anyway, we are concerned. Trepidation. That is the word of the day, kids. Janelle, how do you feel? You've been mighty quiet. Are you on any of these payrolls? You've been awfully quiet.
I'm nervous about lots of things. I'm listening to everything that my big bros are telling me on this podcast, and I'm scared to talk about it. I guess I just have questions. Like, is this for sure happening? Like, is it a done deal? When will we like feel this? Like, what's going to happen to current projects? Like, I just have this big long. It's a lot going on in my head right now, and I'm also like, do I need to make sure to watch anything where it is now so that when things move, like, what if they just decide they don't feel like putting it back up? Like that kind of thing.
I'm gonna tell you guys, tinfoil hat. I feel like that AI video of Tom Cruise fighting Brad Pitt was trying to tell us something.
A couple of things. No, I wanted to really, really quickly, Janelle. I think that like so, and this is for the audience too, because I'm sure everybody's kind of having the same kind of thoughts. But if this moves forward, and it still has to go through a lot of regulation, I think that there are. I know that the Attorney General of California said that this wasn't.
Oh yeah. Oh no, there are people. The rebel forces are already amassing their.
Yeah, there are like, this is not necessarily a done. I mean, like in all honesty, if you had to bet money that this is probably going to go through, I'd say there's probably like a 90% chance that this still happens. But it still has to go through a lot of regulatory stuff. Even if like they get the green light like right this second, it'll still probably take like a year and change for it to all like happen.
Maybe, guys, we're living in like monkey math universe right now. Like maybe somebody whines, maybe Big Daddy whines really loud, and then everybody just rolls over, and we just they get what they want.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see. So it's like, but as for like what this means for like streaming and everything, like, whether or not, I would imagine, like me personally, I would have to bet that they just roll Paramount Plus into HBO Max, and they just get rid of Paramount Plus, and there's just HBO Max moving forward. Like if I had to like kind of put money on it, because like HBO Max
I ain't paying for both.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And also, like, Paramount Plus just like is
man. We want Paramount Max.
I want my Landman. Give me my Landman. If you take my Lioness, my Landman, or my Yellowstone,
I need my Landman. Don't be taking my Landman.
Don't take Landman. Landman has the Tulsa King.
Hey, and Sam Jackson, we're getting Vegas or Frisco King. Come on, man. The King universe is just starting.
Is that a real thing? I don't even know.
Yes. Sam Jackson's doing Frisco King.
Oh, God. No, come on. Stop.
Yeah, they can't keep a showrunner on Tulsa King, but hey, we're going to spin off another show.
E40 all up in there. Anyway, we have gone off the rails.
It's a lot. But yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we got to put a pin on this. We're going off the rails. This could be a whole show. But I think one thing to address that we didn't seriously address, that we do have to seriously address, is, yes, one main concern from way back up in the comments is, yes, like what happens? The big question I have is, if CBS is already censoring people, what happens to like a John Oliver? Like, does that show exist? Those HBO shows.
Last week tonight. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Bill Maher. Is that why Bill Maher's starting to straddle all fences? Like, what are we going to do here? Like,
he's been doing that for 10 years.
Yeah. And somebody asked, like,
yeah.
Does a James Gunn, because there's AI bots starting to go into this stuff. Like, this is real. They can find out anything you said, you did. Does James Gunn still have a job if they decide, this guy he's a radical, like, he said too many radical things, like, he loves dogs, he doesn't kill them, like, are we getting rid of them, like, so like, does that mean we don't get James Gunn anymore? Like, you know what I mean? This is back to that McCarthyism Hollywood stuff that I'm kind of like, it freaks me out. Like, yeah, so we'll see. But let's go to other good ideas. We need to get cleanse of this and get to more uplifting good ideas. Janelle, lift us all up.
Sure. Guess what? Sony is officially rebooting its Spider-Man universe spinoff thing. All their big plans, I guess. And this is all just kind of figured out from a quick little comment on a podcast. The Tony Rothman said that he was
Tom Rothman.
Tom. Did I say Tony? Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm shook a little bit.
No, it's all good.
He said yes, they will be doing that. They're going to be open up their bag and resetting everything and starting their Spider-Man universe, their Spider-Verse all over again with new cast and who knows what the heck they're doing because I don't know. I'm so nervous to get excited about anything. Obviously, more content. That's my motto. I love more content. I want it. I don't want the Spider-Verse to disappear. This has always been weird to me that like this is separate from Marvel and Disney as a whole. But I'm hopeful. Craven did not do well, and Morbius it's not great.
What?
It killed it. It crushed it.
You need more content. Like it needs to be like, you need it needs to raise an octave somehow.
Yo, freedom, act of shameless self-promotion. I have a article that's pretty hot on the site right now where I recast 10 of these roles in the new SSU. I put most of yesterday into this. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. I like really strained my brain to do a good job so we can maybe get a good thing. I'll give you one thing from the header image. I said, and this is kind of relevant to what we'll be talking about later on. I said McKenna Grace should be Gwen Stacy.
That'd be cool.
See, I put real effort into this list, people. I don't write these BS lists. I like
our Daphne, our Scooby-Doo Daphne should absolutely be Spider-Gwen. That is a perfect casting. Make that happen.
Right, and I did a bunch of these, so I think I got some good ones in there. I think you guys would be proud. So go check out that list.
I need to go read that because
I didn't do the obvious ones like Caleb Landry, Miles Morales.
Like
that's easy. We're going deeper. I just picked.
You know what's crazy though? They could fix so much by just including Spider-Man. It's crazy.
You might
they built an entire universe around their main character and then didn't include the main character. Like so much could be solved by just stepping back and going, what makes this all work? Crazy. I just don't understand. Maybe we could get there. As someone who just watched the Tom Hardy Venom thing where like symbiote was like on the bar and like all the teases and stuff. Oh, it's happening and all that stuff. And I was just like, man, we had an entire Venom trilogy without Spider-Man. That's insane. That's insanity. So maybe just fix that
without even a spider insignia.
Yeah,
on Venom.
Just fix that.
That's always gonna kill me, man. That's always. Why couldn't you just put even like in the final of Venom Last Dance?
I thought it was happening too. And it broke me. It didn't happen. I was like, come on, you guys are not ever like even going to give us like the Smallville ending. Like, we're just like zooms in on Venom and then we just see the,
somebody say,
wow.
As someone who wrote,
I see how much that moment meant to you. Wow. That was deep.
As someone who wrote a best Superman TV moments of all time, you should go read that article because there's a lot of Smallville in there.
It's real to me, David.
Florence Pugh, Black Widow. It's real to me.
You know what's crazy though? That Silver and Black movie actually sounded dope.
No, it did. There were so many good ideas from one point.
There is like if somebody wants some fun reading over the weekend, and oh my god, it's if you guys on the podcast haven't read this, just crack into all of the plans that Sony was going to do before they leased out to the MCU.
Oh my god.
Crack out. I was there. I reported all of it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, the Amazing Spider-Man 1.5, Spider-Man 2099, the Andrew Garfield versus Tobey Maguire movie that might have happened, the Aunt May spy movie.
That was crazy.
Right.
That was really crazy.
I forgot about that.
There were so many, but it's just it's so
The
fun.
Aunt May Spy movie is still one.
That's
No, I wanted to
nuts. I
see.
forgot
I
about
wanted to
that.
see a Sinister. They were going to do a Sinister Six movie, and I wanted to do a movie just to seeing the Sinister Six trying to work together, and then at the very end, them just getting wrecked by Spider-Man.
That would have been fun.
After everything. That'd have been so much fun, and them just being like, "What?" and then just locked up in jail at the end. Oh man, it was.
Yeah, there's some good ideas. I wanted the Olivia Wilde Spider-Woman movie with Jessica.
Yeah,
Drew.
I mean, there was a lot.
There's some good ideas there. It's just none
Donald
of it makes
Glover.
sense if Spider-Man's not
Prowler.
No, Donald Glover was supposed to do a Hypno Hustler movie. That was.
Oh my God, happen. That's right.
I would have loved that. That would have been so
there
cool.
was some wild reporting that's been done in this. Yeah.
Craziness.
So anyway, let's see what they come up with next. As long as Avi Arad's still kicking, I think they're never going to truly give up. We were celebrating them giving up, though. It was we talked a lot of trash on this podcast, and now here we are again. All right, but for something truly fun, Matt, why don't you give us something actually fun?
Yes, I'm gonna make this quick, but it's delightful. Number one, we got a brand new kind of casting teaser for season 3 of Wednesday, which has announced it is in production, which is fantastic because now we won't have to wait multiple years to get a new season, which is great in itself. But then kind of the Tim Burton verse came together even more with Winona Ryder being added to season 3's cast, which is just amazing. Anytime their last deal in Beetlejuice, I loved seeing Jenna Ortega added to that world, and now we get Winona Ryder added to the Addams Family world. Super cool. Love this. Love what she's going to bring. Also, who has had Winona Ryder is up there with having such a great kind of a renaissance period here over the last 8 years, killing it in mainstream franchise shows.
10
awesome.
TikTok discovered some crazy ad campaign she was doing in 2016, and I was just like, wait, what? Yeah, she was doing a whole thing pouring milk on it. It was crazy. I was like, yo.
And then we get Beetlejuice, Stranger Things, and now Wednesday all in a row. It's pretty awesome. So I'm excited for this, but I'm also just really excited, frankly, that Netflix knows, right? We have a Stranger Things void. We need to move some of these shows into development, keep them going. Wednesday is one of their star projects. Let's make it to where there's not 4 years between seasons. I'm happy we're already moving forward. Also, Fester rules. So I love his Fester so much. So yeah, excited for that.
All right, that's good. That's the briefest I think you've ever been on anything. I like that. It was really, really condensed. All right, Evan, you've been really excited to talk about the game that is the talk of the town.
Yes,
Resident Evil Requiem.
I'm gonna pat myself.
Resident Evil Requiem released.
R9. Yeah, no, I am so excited. Number one, I'm gonna pat myself on the back for coming into work today and being a part of the podcast. I really the second my shift ends today, I'm jumping into Raccoon City, baby. But to start off, today is the day that Resident Evil 9, aka Resident Evil Requiem, comes out. The big hook of this one is not only it's bringing back Leon Kennedy, the star of Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4. This is going to combine the play styles of Resident Evil 7 and 8 and Resident Evil 4, where you're going to have the ability to go first person and third person. A lot of the story has been under wraps. This entry is going to introduce Grace Ashford, who, for Resident Evil fans, is actually the daughter of Ashley Ashford, who is a character that was introduced in the game Resident Evil Outbreak, which was the first online video game that came out for the PlayStation 2. And we're going deep into the
that game was awesome, by the way, ahead of its time.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, it was so awesome. Yeah, this is like going deep into the lore and everything. I actually don't know. I've avoided spoilers for this one, so I'm super anxious. Our own Logan Moore, if you want to read ComicBook.com's review on this, gave this a perfect score of 5 out of 5. I actually pinged him and was like, "Do you think that this
Logan?"
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Logan. Logan gave us
the same Logan we know.
Yes, yeah, the same Logan Moore, video game enthusiast and writer for Comicbook.com. Yeah, this is a 5 out of 5, a perfect score. I talked with him because I was very jealous of the fact that he had the opportunity to play this. He thinks that it's better than Resident Evil Biohazard and Resident Evil Village, which I am shocked about because I love those games. I actually this morning, the comments were talking a little bit about it. This game is exceptionally difficult to find physical copies of right now.
Isn't that crazy?
It's wild. Mostly because I don't know if it's necessarily because of I think it's a combination of the hype for this game, along with the fact that there has been a move from physical to digital a lot. I before this show, actually, this is a true story. Before this show, I looked at Best Buys near me to see if there was one available, and I managed to find one. It's 20 miles away from my house. So after this podcast, or not after this podcast, but after this shift, I'm gonna be driving out to get my physical copy of Resident Evil 9 rather than playing this digitally. Do we have any other Resident Evil fans in the podcast? Is this too scary for folks in terms of, oh, Matt, you're a big
look, here's the thing. I'm not a horror person, but I've always, and Kofi knows this, I've always had this, like, there's like a couple franchises that stick over here that I'm like, I still love, even though I'm scared crapless every time I play them. Resident Evil is up there, Silent Hill, and then Scream are all, it's a very like horror Matt converging show today, because these are all franchises that I actually dig, despite not being a huge fan of the overall genre. But the fact that we're getting Leon back is huge. The fact that we're like tying into the Ashford stuff, I love the toggle between, because here's the thing, and I get crap for this all the time. My preferred Resident Evils will always be in third person. I do not like first person when it comes to Resident Evils. I deal with it in, like, I like the games in spite of that. So the fact that we can move between third person, I love Resident Evil, like, but you know, Resident Evil, like Resident Evil 2, the remakes and stuff, the fact that they always go back to the third person camera is huge for me. One day I will get my Code Veronica remake in third person, which is like one of my favorite games of all time. So like, I'm waiting for those, but I deal with it. So like the fact that you can bounce between is great. And it's just always, look, you need one core member of like the Stars team or something in every game, even if it's like Chris Redfield where they tacked him on at the end to some things. You need someone from the core group. Leon's great. I'm excited for this. I will play this. I'm excited. But I am also not one who has to hunt it down physical, because I will just download that stuff immensely. I've given into our digital future. I do not care.
But I'm a half and half guy on this, on physical. There's certain ones I want to own. I'm just not like into Resident Evil enough to own it physically. Or actually, it might be the opposite. I have to actually think about this, because this is a game like I'm going to play through once and put away, but somebody else later on might want to play it, like my son or something like that. So it might. That's a whole dilemma. All right, well, I'll figure this out.
The length of this game reportedly is something like 10 to 12 hours, but like one of the best selling points of Resident Evil is like its replayability. So like people, you can go back in. I'm sure they haven't announced any DLC as of yet. Matt, you mentioned Resident Evil Code Veronica. While not confirmed, there has been rumblings that they are going to do a remake of that, because like they're sure not remaking Resident Evil 5. I can tell you that for free.
Why? I thought they were.
Oh, there's a couple reasons. There's a couple reasons.
5 gets too much crap in some regards. It is an excellent co-op game.
That is true. That is true. That is
an excellent co-op game.
I'm super excited for this one. I've been purposely avoiding everything I can, like when it comes to story stuff. I really don't know, like going into Requiem, how much is like, you know, for those who don't know, Resident Evil Village had this funny thing where it, like, the DLC takes place, I want to say 20 years into the future. So this one, obviously, considering Leon's like in his, I want to say mid to late 40s, this is not taking place far into the future. So like this will take place pre that, but I would imagine post Village. Super excited for this one. I know me personally, I'm going to be playing first person with Grace and then third person with Leon. Yeah, I'm hyped for it. Can't wait. Can't wait for this.
Hickman graphs for the Resident Evil timeline. That's what we need.
A breakdown of the timeline.
Yeah,
You said
we need the timeline. Like, here's what has happened. We need one of those Hickman classic
man,
era
it's tough.
things.
That's gonna be that's gonna be
they should include that in the special edition. Like, you get a Hickman poster, you know what I mean?
So, yeah. Get bringing Denise Camp to break down the timeline. But yeah, Requiem comes out today. Can't wait to play it. That's my weekend.
All right. Janelle, you got something cool new to show us.
It's so great.
Is why, for our audio people, this is why you got to also tune in live to see.
I feel like Matt. I feel like you, Matt, when I get to like plug something like this. But if you guys haven't already noticed this other little thing sitting on my desk for all of our listeners, this is the Hatchin Yoshi for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And I actually kept the egg somehow. He didn't crack through too much, but basically this is going out. It's available at Walmart. It's $49.88. And he is so stinking cute. It comes in this awesome shell that actually cracks.
He actually hatches out of it?
He hatches out of it. Like, nice. It breaks off on his own. He wiggles around and hits his head until he cracks out. Mine just happened to not completely fall apart. So I kept the egg because I just love the presentation.
He looks so cute.
But basically he hatches out, which to me is perfect for Easter. If anybody's looking for a little stuffer to put in your Easter basket. And he's so stinking cute. I'm going to turn him on, but he is loud. So I'll tell you first. He kind of moves his head back and forth. There's a button you can press on a shell. You can pet his little nose and he sniffs, and he's very interactive. His eyes light up, and the top of his head has a sensor as well. So let's check it out. I mean, I'm going to put him on the mic. Okay. Hey, Yoshi. Oh, he'll also respond to your voice. Hey, Yoshi. What's up, man? Yeah. Do you want? It's like he's asking, like, do you want a treat? And he'll like tilt his head. But my son is obsessed with him. My dog hates him. So to me, winning. That's exactly what all toys should do. He's pretty heavy too. And he's like in a sitting position. So he's perfect for sitting on your desk. And I just wanted to give a shout out because I don't normally obsess on a toy so much, but this was just like hype city for me. I was absolutely losing it when I was like asked to unbox this. I was losing my mind, excited. I'm such a Nintendo lover. I have a big the Lego question mark box behind me, and so wanted to show this off, and it's available. It was released one time. I'm pretty sure it sold out immediately, but it's back. So check it out. He's so cute.
Oh my gosh. Bring on that Super Mario Galaxy merch, man. Yeah. All that movie merch, bring it on. Who is this one from? Is this from
That's actually a really good question.
Jakks Pacific or Spin Master?
I had it on the box because they shipped it to me and I had no idea what it was. And I asked Ben, I was like, hey, are there any talking points, any details? And he's like, just go for it. I was like, all right, I'm just going to be a super fan and freak out.
That's what okay, I'm gonna find out for you. Yes, it's Spin Master. Okay, so the reason I say that is because there was an awesome Spin Master did a T-Rex that me and Ember had a chance to mess with, and it was like a hatching one, but his was it had pink almost like slime on the inside of the egg, right? So when it hatched, it looked like a Jurassic Park type thing of hatching out. It's actually super cool. So the fact that they now have made this awesome Yoshi version, I must buy that.
The attention to detail is really, really awesome. It's very special. And the texture of the shell, I'm sure the other one was, it feels like an actual eggshell. It's crazy.
It's so cool. Bring it on. Bring all the Yoshi merch.
When is this available now? When is it available?
It's available now, and it's at Walmart.
All right.
I found it.
There you go. So we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we got to talk about the end of Night of the Seven Kingdoms, the return of two big shows on the streaming airwaves, and, of course, Scream 7 still has to be discussed. Stay tuned. So, Game of Thrones' latest spin-off show wrapped season 1, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. The season finale hit. The question is, does this break the Game of Thrones curse? Game of Thrones is known for having some great penultimate episodes and then come kind of let down finales. But how did you guys feel about this one? I'm not going first. I'm going last. Janelle, how'd you feel?
Pressure. I truth be told, I did not know that this was the last episode going in. So I was just like, oh, cool. The story is progressing. I wonder where we're going from here. And when it was done, my husband and I kind of looked at each other and we were like, wait a minute. Is that the end? Like, is that the end of the season? We had to like look it up. Obviously, like the big moments, the fighting, like the actual, like, you know, jarring moments and big realizations happened last episode. I do think that they tied this up with a bow. I think that it was a great little like, hey, this is what happened. This is how we're progressing story. Here's where we're going. This is why we're going there. And we'll see you next season because it's a little bit of a cliffhanger. I don't think it was like really jarring. I don't think it was like a huge, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. It's just, hey, cool. Like this is going on and let's see where we go from here. I mean, I wasn't like crazy about it, but I'm not mad about it either. It was just there.
I thought it was one of the best season finales I've ever seen.
Wow.
It's 30 minutes and I'm rewatching the trailer here that we're replaying, and not a single moment of this episode was wasted. Like every single scene, it did what a finale is supposed to do. Penultimate episode is supposed to be the big kind of earth-shattering, changing thing. But then a finale has to kind of reset the status quo, examine where we've been, and then set the course for where we're going next if there's going to be another season, which we know there is of this. And this did this more efficiently and effectively than just about any other show I think I've ever seen. Like quite literally every single scene was something that either wrapped something up or set something up or did both at once. Yeah, just like the scene with Lionel Baratheon and just him being like, bro, you've got to get in perspective, like what's happening here. You're like crying about this one little thing, but like a bunch of us did this. Like we all did this. We sacrificed for you. You got to understand like what this means for you now, like what you've become now. Like, like whatever you think you might be down, you are real. Like this is now real. Like you're here now. Like you did it. You bled for this and like we're here. So everything with him and Egg and working that whole thing out. Seeing Maelor kind of come alive in this episode and finally having this guy be like an actual character and just realizing I'm kind of interested in this guy and want to know more about him. And that whole speech, like every little scene and every little speech was so well written in this and so well done. That whole thing about, the people will say I killed my brother, the gods, and will know it's not true. That whole thing about how you have to live within the story that is going to be created from this. That was like, there's a lot of profound things in this finale. Like that whole idea, because this is why I watch these Game of Thrones prequels, is to see what the reality was compared to the legend that existed, right? And so this episode does that so definitely by revealing that this entire thing has been built on a lie that Dunk told. That Dunk isn't just our good-natured kind of naive, like, he is also of the Game of Thrones world. He lied, he deceived, and now he's made real this life he thought he wanted, and now he came here and kind of got disillusioned about, but now he's kind of in it. He's going to be a knight. And yeah, and it's just, it was that part I didn't see coming. I didn't see them outright just kind of putting that part out there about Dunk's story because it's always been implied, but never really outright put out there. So yeah, and then of course Egg line at the end and that whole thing.
I love it.
Which is one of my favorite like credit scenes ever. Just like, yeah, like him coming out and be like, wait, where is this kid? Just be like, no. If you're a parent, you know this pain. If your children love to do this to you, right when you punish them about something, they'll turn around and do it again. And so like, yeah, it was one of the better finales I've ever seen, and it definitely made me want to see King the next season. And I like that I like the comedy in this show, and I like that it ended on a joke to us, the audience, by saying, like, I mean, this thing let its cojones hang on the way out. It literally is riding out, and it's like, hey, by the way, you had skepticism. We know you assholes had skepticism about Game of Thrones and about us doing this, but you literally don't know everything you think you know. And you don't know, and you should just keep it a more open mind and just know. And to all you nerds out there too, it's actually 9 kingdoms. Do the counting, because people have now been on TikTok like, wait, it is 9, and it's like, yeah, so towards us, it's just, I mean, it's just it was a smart show that still knew how to be Game of Thrones, but also be its own kind of new lane of the franchise. And yeah, I think it's averaging 24 million. We're back to water cooler shows, people. And like, yeah, this is already something we want to see season 2 of, but also pressure's on you, House of the Dragon. Like, come back and entertain us. Because if you can't, I mean, you might look comparatively nuts, after seeing this, right? Matt, Evan, what'd you guys think?
I was beyond happy to see that Dunk survived being stabbed 36 times with 18 concussions as a result of the fight from the previous episode. This really stuck the landing for me, because I've said on the podcast before where I was really standoffish about Game of Thrones in general, to the point where I still haven't really watched House of the Dragon. This week I mentioned on Blue Sky that, like, this is the week where I've consumed the most media in my life, because I've been binging 2 shows that I can't talk about yet because I got screeners and they're both for work and they're really good, but I can't mention them. Ironically enough, I can mention one of them later tonight, but I can't until the embargo release date happens. But I made sure to watch the finale for Night of the Seven Kingdoms, because honestly, this show really brought me into it, and I really love Dunk and Egg. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the hilarious scene that I love so much to kick this off, where the Meister is like, there's nothing I could do for him. He's totally dead. And then it's just like, shut up. You're a terrible Meister.
Yeah, I was going to mention that one too. That is, I was going to say that's the difference between Game of Thrones and this. That would have been like a whole episode of Dunk Dying. And this show, Lionel's just like, he's a terrible Meister. Get out of here.
He's a terrible Meister. No, but this show really does have this amazing balance between, like, really like humor and life affirming stuff, as well as like the violence and terror that has been a part of Game of Thrones since the very beginning. And I actually had to look it up because I wasn't sure if this had already been confirmed for a second season, but it has. I think it's coming out like next year or something. But like in summation, very quickly, I love the small scale of this show. I think it just did it really, really well. I hope that continues into the second season. I've really enjoyed these characters so far. And yeah, I'm looking forward to more. I think they nailed the landing. I wouldn't necessarily say it was my favorite series finale in the same way that Kofi did, but yeah, it just stuck the landing, which I was really happy.
I said one of the best I've seen.
One of the best. Yeah, one of the best.
It's not my favorite. Those are 2 different things.
Okay.
But yeah, but I think this, is to me what like Squid Game is also going to be, which is, even if it continues, no matter how much it drops off in quality, that first season is still going to be like pound for pound, like, a
you can
really
watch it
good rewatch. Yeah. And just be like, yeah, this was like a perfect season of TV. Like, and just one season of TV that was just so good as a story from start to finish, like standalone, that I really dig it. So yeah, Janelle, any final thoughts to close us out on this, because we got so much to talk about?
I mean, in the comments we saw someone was saying this killed the momentum for House of the Dragon. People are saying that. Not for me. I'll just say that. Not for me. I'm very excited for House of the Dragon, and I'm going to a new hair girl, so I'm hoping to get my Targaryen hair back, and I'm ready. Let's go. Right. Game of Thrones. I love it all.
Hey, I'm all about it. Hey, yeah, I'm not off of House of the Dragon. The trailers for that have looked intense. There's some really intense. I think they took a big hit last season to kind of make this season a lot more exciting, because they could have broken it up and spread it a little bit more across both. But I think they really tried to save the big guns for season 3 because they did this because they're trying too hard to do those Game of Thrones beats because Game of Thrones did the same thing. Season 2 was like, and then season 3 we're like, oh, like, and it got nuts. Season 4, season 5, we were on a high, and then by season 6, season 7, we were like, come on, man. All right, so let's move on to. We don't have to get too deep into these because they're just beginning and people are just catching up, and so we can start to talk about these a little bit later. But I did want to mention that Paradise is back streaming on Hulu. It had 3 episodes. It took a very big swing with its season 2 premiere. You want to talk about, really kind of taking a rolling the dice?
You needed all 3 of those.
Yep. Yeah. You needed every single one of those premiere episodes because I was pissed I kept being pissed. And I was like, okay. Then the 3rd, I was like, Paradise, you got me again. Like now I'm locked in. But yeah, you need all 3 of those episodes. So take the weekend, people, and rewatch it because once you get deeply back into it, it is very much worth it. And, luckily they went to my girl, Shailene Woodley, for that first premiere episode because if they put some
fantastic.
kind of, you can watch her because, to give me something that jarring and just to warn you, the season 2 premiere is a completely jump to a different character, different place. And it's a whole standalone episode about what that character's been through while we were doing season 1. And so it all comes together by the end of episode 3. But it is a very jarring kind of way they do this. But Paradise is back. And this show is crazy. It is like my new Lost meets 24 meets Jericho meets like I don't know,
man,
right?
Jericho, I love Jericho.
Right. But it is like all of these kind of even like now it's getting kind of Walking Dead-ish. Like not to say there's zombies in it, but like the survivors on the road type deal. Like we're getting a lot of flavors to this, and I like it. Anybody have any pressing thoughts about Paradise?
I just like the Winter Soldier guy that they keep focusing on in this trailer. I actually fell off last season. I just had a lot. I was watching a lot of different shows. I think we talked about this, Kofi, and you're like, you got to get back on it. And so I'm gonna start binging. I'm finishing Pluribus because F1 is going to Apple TV, so I finally have my Apple TV back. I'm obsessed with Pluribus, but I'm gonna restart this obsession because this really did start very strong, and it was a me problem, not a show problem. So I'm going to get on this for you, Kofi, and for our listeners.
Yeah, I think this is the
had
best
our monthly F1 mention.
You better be getting paid by these people.
I love F1. Shout out Carlos Sainz Williams. Let's go.
No movie has received more reviews from Kofi.
Oh no,
than
she's
F1.
talking about the real F1.
The real
event.
real
the
F1.
real F1.
Okay, not
so
F1
weird.
the movie.
Like
Real
it's not on
F1
ESPN anymore. What is going on? This is so weird. It's weird. Apple's taking over, y'all.
Yeah. And Monarch Legacy of Monsters is back. I actually, after sleeping off some Scream 7, I woke up in the middle of the night and watched the first episode of this. Pretty exciting stuff. I like that Apple spends money on this Monsterverse stuff. It feels like a movie.
Yeah.
It's insane that we got you just watched the trailer and you're like, that's a movie. And it's no, we're doing that in the show. That's nuts. I really enjoyed it too.
Yeah, and I'm in the Monsterverse. The Monsterverse is weirdly like the thing that is like the comeback kid that has grown on me the most, like somehow, some way. And it's just like for every one of the Godzilla 2014s and King of the Monsters, there has been, which is even stupid and fun in its own way. There's been like a Skull Island, like a movie I really rewatch, fairly often. Or, just the stupid fun of Godzilla versus Kong and stuff like that. And now Monarch Legacy of Monsters kind of like sucking me in as a TV show. Like they've kind of done it, man. Like it's crazy that they've pulled off this Monsterverse, but I'm psyched for it. And I'm always kind of now get a goofy. I think it might be my new Fast and Furious. It's my new, it comes out every time and I just get a goofy smile on this. And I'm like, let's get the familia together.
I think those comp really well, actually. Like that's a great, because I love the Fast and Furious franchise. But yeah, it's like just big fun, but also like when it is on, you are immersed in the stakes as fantastical as they are. Like you still are immersed and you're in the moment. Like, yeah, I can see that's interesting. That's a good.
I I really love. I've reported a lot on Monarch, but I really love the series in terms of it is like a movie, and it comes up with really interesting. The fact that Kurt and Wyatt Russell are playing the same character is like such an interesting, cool thing to do. But about when the first season came out, I had the chance to interview showrunners Chris Black, and actually Matt Fraction is a showrunner. For those who don't know, Matt Fraction, giant comic book writer. He currently is doing DC's Batman, but he's also a showrunner for Monarch. And when I asked them originally, well, what kaiju do you want to appear? Chris Black really wants Hedorah. For those who don't know, Hedorah is a terrifying smog monster who can transform into a cloud and kills everyone that he floats over. It's very scary. But Matt Fraction really, really wants Jet Jaguar. So I'm really crossing my fingers that we get the opportunity to see Jet Jaguar in season 2, because I think that is one of those characters from the Godzilla universe that really is one of the biggest ones that has yet to appear. I think that the new kaiju that is set for this, and I haven't had the chance to watch the season 2 premiere yet, but I think it's called Titan X. I'm thinking it's Biolante, which is like the weird Godzilla fusion with a plant thing that was like appeared in the Godzilla history or whatever. But yeah, I'm super excited for this one. I think like
basically a giant really... I mean, it's in the premiere. It's a giant squid with like little crab monster.
Oh, okay. So not really Biolante. I think
there's another one. It's we know it's another. I forget the name of it, but it's appeared. It's the undersea monster. With the,
really? Okay. Oh, it's an established thing. Okay. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. And it has like little crab monster kind of like things that crawl off its body and stuff like that. Yeah, I forget what it's called. Neat. Yeah, we have articles about it. It's on comicbook.com. But yeah, it's back, Monarch, and it looks fantastic. I watched it in 4K on a big screen in, like I said, movie style. And we got Lady Mariko and a Swai back, like, you know. But this, I was mad at her in this episode, and you'll see why. You know, I was like, come on, Lady Mariko, what are you doing? But all right, yeah, let's move on. That's Monarch Legacy of Monsters. All right, Evan, it's time. We got to go in. Like,
it's time, Kofi. It's time. What a great like, this timing could not be better in terms of like my hatred of the Paramount deal, and then watching the spoiler alert, and I'm sure Kofi feels the same. This is the worst movie of the franchise.
Look, no, but some people are like, Scream is like, nothing is agreed upon now. So now there's this whole like people who are thinking this is great, and I'm going to write about this, but Scream is in an interesting place. This is, and I'm going to write this title. This is Scream's Rise of Skywalker.
I agree.
This is Scream's Rise of Skywalker. This is them trying to pivot away from everything we were doing in the last couple films, because some people criticize 6. There's this whole, and I don't understand that. I thought Scream 6 was so good.
I really liked Scream 6. Like, especially the intro where it's like, who gives an F about scary movies? That was one of my favorite intros to the
and then the double flip on it to the killer gets to, awesome. That whole and it's just like that whole thing was great. It was in a different setting, but it was just like people couldn't do it because Nev Campbell's not in it. We can't have this. It's not like the other. It's like, we were trying to do something new with this, and now we had to go all the way back to just hard pivot back to just legacy stuff. And this is the worst of the franchise. Like, this movie, and it's one of those movies where I knew in the first 10 minutes, I was like, now I have to sit here for the rest of this. And I was just like, damn it. And I was just like, I mean, it's just, first of all, you guys stop making Nev Campbell do this. Nev Campbell doesn't have an ounce of acting juice left for this.
But the paycheck
Nev Campbell's entire effect in this is just like, I gotta be here. The economy. I gotta be here. The economy. Well, she passes off as a annoyed mom, but go ahead, please.
There's so much to unpack with this one, but I think like one of the biggest disappointments is that like this doesn't offer anything in terms of like unique So like for me, Screams 5 and 6, and it's crazy that there are 7 of them, but like it Screams 5 and 6 really did have interesting, unique like things to say in terms of the idea of like it was, both were very meta, right? Like they were
They're
very
about
like,
requels.
yeah, it was
And
about
they were,
requels, and there was just a lot going on in terms of like being able to look at the horror genre as a whole in terms of bringing back old characters and commentary on that. And in Scream 7, they don't try to do that at all. There's
this
one
is
of,
not a Scream movie.
it's not. And one of the things that that like one of the best parts of the movie for me was the twins from Screams 5 and 6, who are given nothing to do here. They get little to no screen time, but when they're on the screen, they have amazing chemistry, and like they really like make their
Chad
they
and
make
Mindy.
it, yeah, it's they make it work, like in terms of like what they're given here. And without going into spoilers, this has, for me, the worst killer reveals. Who they are and what their motivation is just awful. It's just terrible.
If you've seen the 1999 film Can't Hardly Wait, you can probably solve this crime, kids.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, it's so,
Can't
oh
hardly
my God.
wait.
That is a relevant statement I just made. It is a highly relevant statement.
The God, there's just, I keep jumping around because there's just so much terrible crap in this movie, but like one of the things, the idea of like one of the most interesting hooks of this movie, and someone Bubba Black mentioned it in the comments. Matthew Lillard is back as Stu in this movie, one of the killers from the original Scream, and they present it in a way that's like not even interesting at all, and they keep doing the mystery of, did Stu survive in the first Scream, as well as doing a lot of stuff about AI that is just like, none of it lands, none of it's interesting. It doesn't work. It just fails on every single level. And I will say, like, in terms of like folks who might think, oh well, maybe I'll go and I'll see some cool kills, I think that there are two cool, there's one really interesting kill which involves like a play and like scaffolding.
Like that's my whole commentary, is this movie is like sadistic in its kills. Each of the kills is very sadistic, and I would argue like this movie is very just like it's I don't even know how to say, it's exploitative almost. Like the violence in this is gross. Like like a lot of Scream is victims like having a chance and like fighting and ultimately losing to Ghostface, because Ghostface is just some teenager at first and then some other people in a crazy costume, right? So it's like a fight, but or a chase, and people eventually lose. And that's actually the thrill of a Scream kill sequence, is the fight they put up. In this, it's just people stalking down, the killer stalking down, and each of the people who's about to get killed is just made to suffer like brutally, and being toyed with and tortured and or just immediately like brutally shown. Like one person gets stabbed through the head slowly with the knife, and it's like turning the knife and his eyes are popping out, and like you're just like, what? Like, and it's just kind of it is torture porn. This one is the first Scream that I feel like is torture porn. Like every one of the kills in this is torture porn. I mean, I don't even want to say, but and they're doing things like they take a very, cute, pretty actress who's like fluffy stuff, and then they do something like, and just like literally like tear her apart, like, or cut her apart and like slowly. And it's just like stuff like this is sadistic. And it's
the Terrifier effect. I mean, really,
yes,
like it's
that's really what they try to do here.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a bar. Yeah, that bar scene. I was just like, yeah, that belongs in a Terrifier movie.
Yeah, and especially because, like, and again, I'm avoiding spoilers, but the last murder of the movie is so grotesque. Like in terms of, and Kofi, you know what I'm talking about. It's like the shootout. Yeah. But like it's so horrifying. Like in terms of like that is over the top. And I'm a guy who like eats this stuff up. And even I was like, okay, this is a little much. But it could have been saved. And this isn't spoilers, but I have to. I've read a lot of reviews, and some reviews talk about how like this script feels like it was written by AI. And I kind of agree with that a little bit because there's one scene in particular, and this doesn't spoil anything. But so Sidney Prescott's daughter, who's named Tatum, right? During the high school production of Peter Pan, she plays Wendy's dog. And so she's not wearing, she doesn't have like makeup and dog ears. She's wearing like a big mascot costume, right? And she ruins the rehearsal because she's wearing a giant dog mascot costume and she can't see, so she trips over her feet. And the director of this play for a high school production stands up and goes, "Tatum, you're ruining my play. I cast you for this role because I thought you had grit. Aren't you the daughter of Sidney Prescott?" And I was like watching this and I'm like, she's playing the part of a mascot dog who even says after this, "I don't have any lines and I just bark a couple times." And the director of this play is freaking out because like he cast her because she had grit, because she's the daughter of a woman who survived like 18 encounters with Ghostface to be a friggin'
and it's Jonah
dog.
from Veep. And it's you're not even mentioning that it's Jonah from Veep.
It's Jonah from Veep. I forgot about that. Man.
And in this crazy getup as this eccentric school play, and they constantly cut back to him through the movie as a red herring to like make you think, but he's not really in the movie. It's just they cut back to him like weirdly in just weird times. And you're like, okay.
It's
like,
ladies and gentlemen, for I don't know, Matt and Janelle, if you guys are ever going to see this, but also to people in our comments, do not see this movie. Watch Scream 5 and 6 again. Like those are.
I'll watch it on streaming.
Watch the Carpenter sister duology that we'll never finish. I was into colleagues and other people, activists, stuff like, yes, we were kind of aware. I was aware, I was really against the firing of Melissa Barrera. I was not about that at all. I was not about discontinuing Radio Silence, Jenna Ortega, and what they all were building together and how well they had done kind of with this franchise. I got to do this. It's a job. I got to know, even when things are trash, like why they're trash. It's just part of what we do. I've been balancing stuff I got to do this week by watching stuff. I started watching Dark, y'all. Yo, Dark is crazy.
Oh, dude, I've started watching Dark. That's crazy. I started
episode. I was like, what is this show? Ago. I almost gave up. And then I got to episode 5, and then I was like, wait. What? Wait, what? And now I'm down the rabbit hole so far. Dark is amazing. So I'm so late on this, but yeah, Dark is crazy. So I'm balancing out my life.
I do actually have breaking news. And I'm gonna see if Rich can post it. The first image of the God of War live action series has been posted with live action Kratos and Atreus. So I posted it in the private chat, but everybody looks spot on. Kratos, wow, Kratos looks like Kratos. If people want to look at that really quick, going from Scream to God of War.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's hopefully don't know if we can get, but yeah, no, sorry. I saw that and I was like, man, we should mention that really quick because that just happened. They look super. The actors look super on point for that one. That's a nice palate cleanser because I'm way more hyped for God of War versus talking about this terrible Scream movie. They look spot on.
All right, but let's talk some comics. That's Scream 7. We say skip it. Don't pay for Paramount Plus till they force you to pay for HBO Paramount Max. Let's
Plus.
talk comics. Let's talk Wonder Woman. Matt.
Yeah, let's talk Wonder Woman. That's I'm so excited. Absolute Wonder Woman number 17. Look, everyone knows I love the series already, but it has helped recently that we've had Zatanna in the mix in this whole magic kind of centered storyline. And here we get really what has become kind of Wonder Woman, her classic rogues, and a Giganta fight that I adored. This was so cool. Like this is one of the reasons why I love this Wonder Woman is there's so many kind of cool aspects to the magic side of her and all of these things that we get to see happen in real time. And it just we've seen Wonder Woman throw down with Giganta number of times in the main timeline. Rarely seen it like this. And it's a story that, yeah, I mean, it's so cool. And also, they don't even just make Diana cool and Wonder Woman kind of, okay, well, I have to meet her here. They make Giganta a legit threat, right? Well, I mean, literally, the only way she's able to get Giganta down is just by temporarily putting her to sleep.
Yeah, put her in the sleeper
style.
Hole. I was like, oh, wrestling.
Giganta's John Cena, and just like they're just like putting people to sleep. It's crazy. So like, I just think they've done so much here, and also establishing the magic side of the absolute universe in this book to a huge degree. And where we leave things off, again, another big hook for Diana moving forward. It's interesting. Her supporting cast always plays a part in her adventures, and here they play another important part as well. And there's just so much this book gets right. I love this issue in general. And the artwork, I have to praise it because, like, my word, the artwork, this book, you know, Hayden Sherman has been fantastic throughout this run, but like he just gets scale and size, like scope and all that so well here. There's some splash pages that are just fantastic, and Jordi Belair kills it on colors as well. So yeah, I dug this issue. Clearly. What did everybody else think?
They're making it real hard to choose a favorite in these absolutes, like a favorite series. Golly.
Yeah.
I mean, I think I can't believe it. I still think I'm into Batman the most, but to me, I think this is coming in second so far. I'm just loving what they do. You kind of said everything incredible about it. It's just, the story has been awesome all the way through, and it just keeps on being really entertaining. And I just look forward to these absolute Wonder Womans every single week. And I loved Batman and Wonder Woman together. So I feel like absolute Batman's first, and then Wonder Woman's second for me.
Yeah. You knew me. I was kind of out on the Minotaur arc.
Yeah.
And then this has kind of gotten me back in. This issue definitely got me back in. I was like, now this is what I liked about the first arc. It was when Diana goes into battle, these big scenes, these kind of this Wonder Woman, her magic, what makes her different. Like that whole thing was fascinating to me the first time around. And this is even better version of it because it's much more comic booky. We get sleeper holds, stuff like that. And the whole kind of the occult side of this absolute universe coming with this Wonder Woman who's steeped in witchcraft is very interesting. And yeah, this was great to show Diana being like, you know, why she is like Wonder Woman and why she is a warrior and how many different tricks she has on her upper sleeve, from strategy to just magic to fighting. Yeah, this was exciting stuff, and it was as exciting as my absolute Batman. So I'm kind of done ranking the absolutes. I just, because we don't talk about it here, but like, I mean, Martian Manhunter's still crazy, and like what that book is doing is so nuts.
Sad it's ending soon.
Yeah. I will say that, like, I mean, Martian Manhunter is my favorite of the absolute book so far, but like of the Trinity, like Wonder Woman is my favorite. And I'm a big fan of what's been going on in Batman and Superman. Superman has gotten really dark, like insanely dark. But no, I love this take on Diana. I think it's like, it's honestly, I think Absolute Wonder Woman is the perfect example of what works so well about the Absolute Universe as a whole, because it sticks with what makes Diana work as a character overall, while simultaneously adding a lot of really interesting new dynamics and elements to the character that otherwise wouldn't have been explored originally. I love this new take on Giganta. I think that like one of the things that I've always, you know, kind of felt when it comes to Wonder Woman is that like and I think this is kind of the same of Superman, is that I feel like her rogues gallery kind of gets overlooked a lot, which is like, you know, when people think Wonder Woman, they just immediately go, oh, Cheetah. And it's like, yeah, Cheetah's interesting, but like at the end of the day, she does have this really good rogues gallery, and they're the being able to present them in new, unique ways in the Absolute Universe really does a good job of like showing the differences between, you know, Diana and the people she fights and the creatures she fights and things like that, and her world and everything. So like, yeah, I saw someone mention Nindiego 64 mentioned, I hope Absolute never ends. And buddy, I'm with you. I think that like, I hope Absolute never ends. I'm still very sad that the Ultimate Universe is coming to an end with everything, but yeah, I'm looking forward. Absolute Wonder Woman, one of my favorite books on the market so far, and I'm looking forward to see where they go, you know, moving forward with it.
Yeah, Absolute's not ending. I mean, look, we just got 2 new titles announced. Absolute Green Arrow's coming, which is going to be looks bonkers, and Absolute Catwoman. So I mean, those are coming later this year. We got lots to think. I gotta say, special shout out to Kelly Thompson. Everyone knows, one of my favorite writers, period. But there's a whole running gag in here about grinding bones to bread. every time and Wonder Woman even addresses it, right? What is with you? What is the bread thing?
What is the bread thing? Like, you're really on this bread thing.
It's stuff like that I just adore.
But I like
right
it.
In the middle of a giant fight.
Giganta's a big lady and she wants her carbs. She's hangry. She wants them carbs.
Needs the protein. She needs protein.
No, she wants carbs. She's screw protein. She's like, I want my carbs. I'm gonna make some bread out of your ass.
So good, man. That's so good. I just love that you're in the middle of this giant fight and you have like that quick moment there. Let's move on to Marvel and Iron Man #2. Iron Man debuted not too long ago. Joshua Williamson, Carmen Carnero at the helm of that. And from what I remember, we really dug the debut. So I wanted to kind of keep us on. Look, the second issue sometimes is as important, if not more important, than the first issue, because it's that key book. If it's going to stay on your pull list or not. And a lot of those decisions are made with issues 2 and 3. So I thought we continued a lot of the great things I loved about the first issue and kind of establishing Tony's supporting cast, some of the AIM supporting cast members. But I got to give complete praise to, I didn't think I would get a MODOK scene that was quite this memorable. And I agree with Tony. I feel like you got to wash out your eyeballs as soon as that's done. Just again, we're building so much around. But what did you guys think of this?
Williamson, I mean, I'm just gonna be quick. This mofo don't miss, man. Like, he just knows these characters, and he just knows like how to make these worlds cool. And he makes you feel like, and I think he's the world man. Like, he just doesn't do this character in a vacuum. It always feels like
100%.
He's putting this character in a world of their own, even though it's in a universe. Like Superman, Metropolis felt like a whole ass place in history. This feels like Tony Stark is James Bond, and like he runs around just doing James Bond style stuff. If James Bond had Bruce Wayne resources, right? Like, and that's what it feels. It feels like an international spy comedy, kind of action comedy. And that's basically what this whole issue is in issue 2. Like, the whole thing with him and Madame Mask at the beginning, and then the scene cut to them in bed is like hilarious. And I was just like cracking up about that. And it's just, you know, Tony being, you know, his own worst enemy. There's so many elements that are not overbearing and being like heavily thematic, but that are woven into this just kind of, like I said, spy action story. But it is about Tony being his own worst enemy, essentially creating these problems that he's created, including this plan we now found out he gave as pillow talk in bed that he's now put everybody in danger with. And there's a lot of layers to it, and it's still a straightforward mission. It's not confusing like what we're doing. We are trying to go get these geniuses, and then to see what they're planning for them. And Madame Mask has never been this interesting to me. Like Iron Man's world has not been this interesting to me. MODOK is certainly never this interesting to me. And seeing him have a Caligula orgy, I didn't need that, but it was something that will stand out to me. But yeah, it's making
With
me
his armor being shined on the other side of the splash.
Crazy. It was crazy. But Williamson is so good about making me feel like I want to be re-immersed every month, not just in the story arc, but in the world of the hero I'm reading about. Like, I want to go to that Superman Metropolis again and see what's going on. I want to go and see what Tony Stark is up to next month and like what is going on in his world. So yeah, man, he's killing it.
Janelle?
Oh gosh. Yeah, I don't know Madame Mask. I actually don't know much about Madame Mask at all. The name is familiar, but I like how easily I understand the stakes in this. I feel like they kind of lay everything out for me pretty well. I think that are they trying to put a shine on mental health? It seems like, the struggle between Tony and Cap, like he's like, are you okay? But I'm also kind of like, is Cap evil because he's like talking to someone behind Tony's back? Like there's a lot of questions here, which I love because that makes me want to go on and keep reading and figure out more of the story and dive deeper. So the first one didn't intrigue me as much as this one. I feel like this one is really what got me like sold on this so far. And I really love the artwork too. It's very detail oriented, and I really love like the coloring, and it just feels so different than what because I've been, for my Marvel stuff, you guys know, we've been doing a lot of like X-Men and things like that. So it feels really good to kind of dive in with a character that like I feel like I know so well. But in reality, I only know him from film, from like the MCU.
Right.
So it feels so nice to read a comic about Iron Man. And I'm eating that up. I love like getting my knowledge kind of taught to me, like learning more and more through comics. And I'm feeling gratitude that I get to read an Iron Man comic, honestly.
And a good one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for that. Perfect.
I will, so one of my favorite Avengers runs of all time is the Jonathan Hickman one, but like a close second for me is Kurt Busiek's like 90s one. And this felt like the closest thing I've read to that. And this is like, I really, because I read the first issue and I thought it was good, but I really dug this second issue. I thought like the back and forth between Tony and Cap worked really well. I loved the MODOK stuff. I thought that was so funny. So it just feels like Williamson is doing a really good job of like, exploring Tony's world, as well as creating some really funny scenarios for the future. So yeah, I'm on board with this one. I really, this feels like it just feels like traditional superhero comics done right, really, really well.
Yeah.
And like I think there's always room for that. And like, there's always like, we talk about the Absolute Universe and like the mind-bending stuff of Absolute Martian Manhunter. But I think there's also like room for, more traditional superhero fare. And I just think that this is really a perfect example of that.
Yeah, Williamson has brought over so many things I love about his Superman run, which is still ongoing and it's still great and still doing those things. Like this issue, just two things before close out. Like I love that he answers the phone call with Luna while he's fighting, and we get this whole conversation happening about a date in real time, and Cap's already scolded him for the whole Madame Matt situation. And then I also love that we get like this whole thing between Pepper and May. And again, this is what Williamson is really good at, building out that supporting cast, right? Their whole dynamic is hilarious. Tony's not even in the scene. He's talked about, but he's not in the scene. And they're hilarious. Like May's whole thing of like, I'm sorry, I did not sign up to be your couples therapist, right? And then they're back and forth about it. Well, we're not a couple and all that stuff. And you get insight from it between like Pepper, like I'm just not, this life is not for me, right? I still care, whatever. You get stuff from it, but it's also an entertaining sequence, right? So I love that we get all those things. But yeah, that's comics.
I don't know why you're stopping to talk. What is Avengers Armageddon? What's on your agenda? There's things to
Oh
do.
my
You
gosh,
still talk.
yes, that's right. I forgot. I forgot about Avengers Armageddon. Sorry about that. So yes, I was mostly muting for a little child, a little buddy of mine might be in the background here. Yes, so we have a brand new Avengers event. We've had Doctor Doom, all of that stuff is kind of being wrapped up. We're seeing like a new Sorcerer Supreme in Scarlet Witch, if you've been kind of following along. Now we're going to be building up the Weapons of Armageddon arcs. This is going to primarily focus on Wolverine and Captain America. The big thing here is that this is Chip Zdarsky. And if you've been following Comic Book Nation for a while, Chip Zdarsky has been doing some amazing things, both on the Marvel side of the universe with his Captain America run, and also previously on the DC side with Batman run, and parts of that Batman run are like some of my all-time favorite parts of the Dark Knight. So I'm excited here that this will all kick off on June 3rd. Essentially, this is going to be Red Hulk claims Latveria for himself and starts a global war. And if you make any real world correlations there, hey, that's on you. We're not political nation. we're Comic Book Nation. But yes, there's going to be some real world threads here in this. And look, the cover kicks. If you've seen the cover of Avengers Armageddon #1, it looks awesome. Also, it does feel like there is some obviously brave there is some Captain America Brave New World vibes I'm getting from here, right? We're working in Sam, we're working in Red Hulk, like this is going to be kind of a bigger thing, but this does look to bring together the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, as well as the main Avengers group, which honestly, the main Avengers group has kind of been just over here kind of doing their own thing, existing lately.
Mhm.
So I'm curious to see kind of, and the X-Men obviously have been in their own thing. So I'm actually kind of excited to see them together in one event. But also Zdarsky being at the helm of this gives me some confidence that I wouldn't normally have. How are you guys feeling about this?
Yeah,
I just want to take I just want to take 1 minute and address Demon of Nine has been very patient in the chat and repeatedly asking. Yes, we do watch Starfleet Academy. We report extensively on all things Star Trek. I'm part of the Star Trek report team here. These losers do not necessarily watch Star Trek, so
I tried.
we don't have
Starfleet Academy?
Kofi,
What?
Demon of Nine gifted me
You didn't put it in there.
a subscription so I can watch this. So I have to watch it.
Okay, I see
So
what
I'll
you're
let
doing
you
in here,
know.
Demon of Nine. Okay, we can get
Yes.
your agenda off. We can talk
Yes.
some Starfleet Academy. I think it's about to wrap up season 1. We'll do a season 1 recap. We'll do a
Demon
wrap
of Nine's
about
agenda
that.
Oh,
next
shoot,
week.
I have a lot of catching up to do,
Demon
don't
of
I?
Nine's agenda.
Yeah, we'll do a recap of the season and talk about it as a whole. I'm down for that. All right, so back to it. Zdarsky.
Yeah, I did want to add really quickly, because man, I love Chip Zdarsky. He does such amazing books. But I do want to recommend to folks, if you haven't read Spider-Man Life Story, one of my favorite Spider-Man stories of all time. It's a 5-issue. It can be read completely on its own. It imagines Spider-Man if he existed in real time. Like, so you see him throughout the decades and he's aging and he has a family and all this stuff. But also I would say like Zdarsky's Peter Parker Spider-Man is worth a read. He was the one who introduced the idea of J. Jonah Jameson learning Spider-Man's identity, which has worked really well. I don't think that gets mentioned a lot, but like, yeah, it's that's actually been working really well. But I think that the premise of Avengers Armageddon, Red Hulk taking over Latveria, kind of hit or miss for me, but it's Zdarsky, so I'm on board. I think that like Chip is an amazing writer. I love him. I love all the stuff that he's written for Marvel and like his independent work and everything. So yeah, I'm on board with that.
I agree with you
All right.
wholeheartedly on that, by the way.
Don't fan in your pants.
The
here,
premise does not excite me as a premise. If
Yeah.
it didn't have someone like Chip or Hickman or someone of that ilk to kind of, hey, be behind this premise, I would be far less excited. But it's the fact of the combo that works for me. All right, so I wanted to quick in my agenda here, I'll make this quick because I know we gotta end the show here. I wanted to talk about real quick The Bluff, which is on Prime Video, which is Priyanka Chopper Jonas and Carl
watching this
Urban's
brutal ass movie.
pirate adventure, man. Dude, okay, so this is the Russos producing, not directing, but Russos producing. And I typically go into like those movies with like I don't know, a certain state of mind or whatever, kind of understanding what I'm going to get. If you had told me, I heard the premise of, hey, this is like John Wick with like pirates, which I will watch almost anything pirates. So like that's number one, you had me there. I love pirate stuff. But then two, I went, okay, like it's a cool premise. Priyanka's in the lead, kind of John Wickish role. Cool. I was not expecting to be so like I loved this movie. This was just super fun. Carl Urban and Priyanka are just like so good when they're on screen together. They play off each other really well, and they're opponents in this, right? This whole kind of going against each other. Essentially, like Priyanka plays a character, Ursel, who ends up kind of being revealed. And this is revealed pretty early on, so I don't feel like it's a giant spoiler. But essentially, like she has a big pirate history, and they delve into that, and she's like incredibly deadly and it's awesome. Some of the kills in this, like you guys were talking about Scream and how unfortunately it doesn't seem like there were a lot of kills there, or they were like super gory. This one scene right here, she's beating this man with a shell, and it's after this awesome fight that happens in the house. And there's just some really creative setups in here. There's a whole like alligator sequence that's really awesome. The fights towards the end, like how one person is kind of going against an army of people, thought they did that really well. I loved this. I thought this was awesome. Again, perfect for streaming, because I think like people giving it a shot should. And it's streaming. If you've got Prime Video, go watch it. I heartily recommend it. It was super fun. I dug it a lot. Next, I'm going to move into WWE 2K26. This is the newest WWE game. Obviously, this hits on March 13th, I believe. These are just, I had the chance. The reason I missed the last week's show, and by the way, I watched the show. Fantastic show. Was amazing. These guys are the best. But I was at WWE headquarters in Connecticut, which I never been able to go to. Got a chance to interview some superstars and things. We'll have that coming up on Comic Book at some point here. But one of the things I got to do was get some hands-on time with WWE 2K26. And one of the things here, if you're watching the live show, you're actually seeing some of the cool new things that you can do during the entrances. So like before, if you were watching an entrance, a superstar entrance, it was static. You were just watching kind of a cinematic play out, right? In this way, they've integrated a couple things from like the very beginning, the entrance ramp, all the way to the ring. So like you can actually mess with the pyrotechnics in the background as they're coming out. You control that. There's like a D-pad assigned. You can actually shoot those off manually. Once you get to the ring, you can have pyro go off from the ring post. You can actually have them doing like babyface or heel gestures to the crowd as they walk the ramp. You can now free the camera to third person and like swing around and view everything from different angles, and then also go back to the other kind of animated TV presentation angle. Another thing that's really cool is that once you get to the ring, there's actually whole new setups to make it feel more like the TV product. So like you can initiate stare downs, you can charge someone before the bell rings, you can do a handshake, you can do all of that stuff. You can then segue into chain wrestling, all of those things. So like it's a really cool, they've done a lot of work to kind of make it feel like a wrestling match on TV. And if you want to do all those things, or you can just get straight to the action, you can skip it if you want. It's like all that's still there, but they've just done an immense amount of work to kind of immerse you into the product. One of the things you're seeing if you're watching the live show, is one of the new match types, which is Inferno match, which as you do big moves, there's a meter towards the bottom that kind of starts to rise. And as it rises, the flames around the ring rise. And at a certain point, it will hit kind of peak Inferno, and you won't be able to actually leave the ring anymore. The flames are too high. They're set in place. They keep you in, and then you're going to have the finish of the match as well. So at that point, it's kind of like a Royal Rumble thing. Like you have to get someone over the ropes. So that's a really cool match type. Another improvement they have made is last year's versions had backstage brawls. And I wasn't a big fan of those because like, it still felt like it was too on rails. Like you couldn't, do so much in the environment. Like the environment was there, you could use weapons and things, but like it didn't feel like a real playground there to have these kind of ridiculous chaotic brawls. This year's edition, if you're watching the live show, this is one of my favorite moments that happened to me, and my like mouth was my mouth was open after it happened. So like now most of the rails and things are breakable, number one. And number two, you can now the invisible walls that were guarding you before have a lot of those have been removed. So like you can now fall off multi-tiered ledges. You can be thrown off. You can send someone off as well. I got sent off and into a spotlight all the way down at the bottom. You can also go up the elevators. You can use all the ladders. There's now run-ins in the backstage brawl areas. So like one of my things, like Penta randomly shows up for no reason other than the fact that Penta shows up. And again, it makes it more chaotic and it's great. So like they've really done a lot of work on the backstage brawls to make them feel as arcadey, I feel like, as you can get without making a whole new engine. Like it at some point it's going to have to be its own game, right? If you're going to really go so far away from the traditional control scheme. But I think they've kind of found a good balance, and they're fun. Most importantly, they're fun. One of the other new match types is there's also a dumpster match. There's the 3 stages of hell match, and then there's an I quit match. I quit. It was one of those things, right? Sometimes match types are like so there's only a very small difference between the different match types, right? So like a casket match feels like a dumpster match. It's just like you're going into a different container, right? That's so amongst those things, they feel very similar. With an I quit though, they've like introduced a whole new mechanic that trying to get the other person to say there's a whole little meter that you have to kind of keep track of, and you're putting pressure on the opponent, and the opponent is trying to hit certain other spaces to make sure that they don't give in and say I quit. So like there's this whole new mechanic that makes this match feel different than some of the other match types that we have. So again, they do a really good job between the Inferno, the 3 stages of hell, and the I quit. I feel like most of the match types feel very different, unique amongst each other. And if you're watching the live show, you can kind of see the meter and how it goes there. You're trying to get it to the person who's trying to not quit is trying to get it green. The other person's trying to get it red to knock them out. It's a really cool thing that they've got in there, and it makes it feel unique. The other thing here, obviously, this is a showcase for CM Punk. He's the cover star, so the 2K showcase is built all around CM Punk and his greatest matches. He's had a hell of a career, so obviously that's going to be really fun, especially for CM Punk fans. Also, the graphics, even from last year's version, there are some that are unreal in this. A lot of them are really good. Roman Reigns is really good, but like Raquel Rodriguez looks like, and between Damian Priest and Raquel Rodriguez, they look like they stepped out of the console. Like I think they live there. I think they live in the console and they just appear on the thing. It's unreal how great they look. We got a lot of new stars. There's over 400 superstars on this roster, including a bunch of AAA stars, which is amazing, in the ringside pass. Like that. There are so many brands here. We also get a lot of the new NXT stars like Blake Monroe and Joe Hendry in here. So it's an impressive roster. The movement feels great. Like they've actually improved it, made it feel so much smoother than last year. There's a lot going on. And I think right now I still have to put a lot of time into some of the other modes. But I'm excited to do that at some point. And right now though, I had a great time with 2K26. I'm excited to see the full game. So hopefully you like this. You can check out more coverage. You can check out my full preview impressions on comicbook.com right now. So that is my agenda.
Wow, Matt in a wrestling video game. It's always an event. We did it. All right, that's it. We're going to get out of here. This is Comic Book Nation. You can find us on all your DSPs. You could also tune in on the live show. We are here every week, every Friday, and you can read all of our work and our more extensive thoughts on all these topics and so much more over on comicbook.com. Matt, Janelle, Evan, thank you for joining me. Thank you to everybody who's been in a live chat for the show. Thank you to everybody behind the boards running the show. And we are out of here. Peace.